Hi everyone, I am Lady Stars and Fire, and this is not an uplift. This is what I'm going to call Rattle the Cage. See, sometimes in order for you to have love and light brought into your life, for a more peaceful life, a happier life, a more enjoyable life, sometimes you have to fight for what you want. Sometimes wishing and hoping, well, that's just not enough. Sometimes you actually have to get up and do something about it. We live in a world where, sadly, society will tell us our children are ill. They'll come back and tell us your child is ill, simply because it's easier for them to deal with it that way. Instead of correcting it, it's just easier to deal with it that way. Yeah. I'm talking today, or at least I'm using ADHD as a motive for this, for my Rattle the Cage. See, you've got to rattle the cage sometimes for what's right. Because if you don't, well, you're just the rat in the cage, honey. Society is going to point fingers, and not just about ADHD, about anything. Society is going to point fingers and say, well, this is wrong, and putting you on medicine, well, that'll make it better. This is wrong, so go over here and do this. This will be better. They point fingers and push you in different directions, all so they simply cannot have to solve anything. I don't come out here and pretend to be professional. I don't make these videos because I'm professional. I don't make them to pretend I'm anything other than what I am. I'm not fake. I'm real. And fake is just what society is. I'm heart. Heart is real. And heart, sometimes that hurts. But sometimes it hurts enough to make you get up and do what has to be done. See, I have a friend, and I'm not going to put that friend on blast. But I'm going to give you the idea of why I'm doing what I'm doing. My friend came to me and was all upset because her child has ADHD. And long story short, they were threatening because of this person's ADHD to have to, well, we could pay you less money. All because you have this so-called disease. Really? Really? She's so upset. She's crying. All for her child. She's worried she was a bad mother. She thinks possibly she's created this whole problem, that she's created his ADHD. That putting him on these medicines that they've had him on, and she's had to go through all kinds of issues. She took him off these medicines and found him to be a much happier child. That he's no longer acting like a zombie. That on these medicines, his life force, his essence was changed. It changed him. And she's like, well, am I a bad mother? Did I create this problem? He's going to have this problem all of his life. I should have never let him do this. The schools were telling me that, he has these problems and going through the doctors and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that, I've had to do this. And he's been off the medicine for a while now. And yeah, he's a hyperactive person. So, have always been hyperactive people. Sometimes people have trouble with focus. But the point wasn't that. The point was she was feeling society is what put them in this place. That, was she a bad mom because she got duped by society saying how he had to be, how you have to treat him, how you have to take care of him? In my opinion, if you have ADHD or any illness, as they want to call it, it's who you are. Own it. If you have ADHD and you're super hyper, you know what? That just means that eventually all that power that you have inside of you that is go, 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 is eventually what's going to make you the person you are. And you can't drug somebody and make them something different and expect them to still become who they are. I'm just using ADHD as a motive. See, we tend to settle. We settle and we hear often, well, what are you going to do about it? That's the way the world is. And then we settle and we just take it. No, you don't just take it. This is why the world is the way it is, and this is why things don't get done. See, my angels, my spirits, they're a bit cocky like me, I guess. I want to change the world. I'm going to come right out and admit it. I want to change the world. I want to see it be a better place. So they say to me, if you want to change the world, well, earn it. Yeah, it's that simple. You got to earn it. You want changes in your life. You want your life to be better. You have to get up and change it. You've got to be that role model. They tell me, because vulture is also one of my totem animals. Well, what does the vulture do? A lot of people look at vultures like they're bad things. No. The vulture cleans up the earth. It cleans up and it does the job nobody else wants to do. Well, in order to be a role model, in order to be a front man to try to make things better, you've got to be like the vulture. You've got to be willing to get out there and do the job that nobody wants to do. See, society wants to change you so that you do what they want you to do in every aspect. Excuse me. Society wants to be in control of you. Society wants to tell you how you're going to raise your children and how everything in this world is going to be done according to society. Well, we shouldn't have to put our children on medication because it's easier for you. Yeah, we have to work harder to keep their focus. We have to work harder to pay attention to them. Your job as a teacher may be harder, but guess what? That's your job. If it's too difficult, change the job. Change society. Because this whole, well, that's the way the world is. What are you going to do about it? That's not working. Sometimes you have to fight for what you want. You have to fight for what you believe in. You can't take the roar out of the lion and expect the lion still to grow up to become the king of the jungle. It doesn't work that way. It's that simple. You can't take the roar out of the lion. It's not going to work. We have to make society change. And it's not that I have a problem with teachers. I know you have a hard job. I know that you have too many children in your classes. And it's hard for you to keep up with people, especially when some of these children who do have ADHD or other situations in life, not just teachers, you know, your jobs, you don't have enough people to do the job. I'm sorry. We got to change your jobs. If you can't do it on your own, then we have to force society to start to make changes, because we shouldn't have to change who we are just so that it's easier for you. If I'm pissing you off, I'm sorry, but that's my job. See, I may only be starting to walk on my path, or let me rephrase that. I may be only starting to step off of my dirt road of my path and onto the pavement and into the public. I may only be starting, but I promise you, I'm going to be a front man. Are you? Are you going to let society tell you how things have to be done? Or are you going to stand up and make society make changes? Because we shouldn't have to change if we are what's right. You can't take the roar out of the lion and expect it to still be the king of the jungle. Just like with that child. How do you know that these drugs that you're putting the child on and so forth isn't what's going to make him become so numb that he can't become who he's meant to become spiritually? Maybe he is the one who saves the world, but maybe you're killing the lion in him. We all make mistakes, but sometimes you have to force society to change the job, because that's what's right. And I'm not just talking about ADHD. There's so much out there in this world that needs to be changed to be made right. I told you again, I'm only starting to step out off of my dirt path and onto the pavement road. I'm only starting to be public, but I promise you I'm going to be a front man. And sometimes, in order to be a front man, in order to get the life we deserve, in order to have the better life that the world should have, the better society, people thinking and loving each other and actually caring for each other instead of pointing fingers and saying, well, it's easier this way. You have to take time on each other. Sometimes you gotta rattle the cage in order to get there. I'm only starting to rattle, darling. I wish you all love and light. And I hope I gave someone courage to do whatever it is that you feel you really need to do. For whatever it is that's going on in your life. Hugs and kisses in the wind. Blessed be. And you can always find me, or more about me, at my website, www.ladystarsandfire.com. Blessings to you all. Be a front man if you need to, even if you're just in one small little corner of the world. You can only make changes one person at a time until one person's become the masses. That's how it works. Bye.